Not every girl likes to swallow my load. People whose first relationship was very long-term, what weird thing did you believe was normal until you started seeing other people? Hey ho, my bro is back. So glad you can join me for another story time. It's been too long. Can you do your boy Andrew a favor and destroy the like button? It really helps the channel. If you do, I'll buy you a free lollipop. Enough sweet stuff, let's get into these stories. Your partner should actually make an effort to spend time with you. You shouldn't have to surprise them to spend any time with them. That some girls, in a relationship, don't like to kiss as often as others. I'm just talking about pecks, when IGF gets home etc. I always enjoyed a hello kiss, but I guess some girls don't. I would lick the side of my first girlfriend's face like a dog, and she loved it. My second girlfriend slapped me when I tried it. She made me believe the old TV tropes of women never wanting sex. I had to work my ass off to get her to give me some action. The next girl I had was just ducking, amazed that I didn't just ask for it when I wanted it. The bewildered look on her face when she finally asked, "You realize I'm horny too, right?" People's love languages are all different. It's especially jarring when you have a lot of experience doing things a certain way and then finding out that isn't what somebody else needs. It can take some work to figure out what's inherent to yourself and what was learned from your partner. I texted my then new girlfriend about where I was and who I was with about every 30 minutes. After the third time, she told me that she didn't need to get updates on what I was doing and to just let her know when I got home safe. I remember feeling almost a physical weight being lifted off my chest because I didn't have to worry about my girlfriend freaking out if I didn't update her. I learned what trust felt like that night. I see so much horrible things on here, mine is quite tame, but here goes. My first boyfriend would always leave me small presents or notes underneath my pillow if I had to get up earlier than he did. He was quite romantic and told me I love you quite a lot. When I got a new boyfriend, I caught myself looking underneath my pillow for at least a month, 2 months in, just out of habit. He had a birth defect which left him with 2 holes in the tip of his penis. I thought one was for pee and the other was for sperm. My next boyfriend was very confused when I asked him why he only had 1 hole. Edit. Thanks for all the medals. Wow. I'm also embarrassed by how many people have read this. And since there's too many comments to reply to, but I kept getting asked. My school's sex ed program was separated by gender, so I only learned female anatomy. Dicks aren't pretty, so I never went out of my way to look at one up close until I met my boyfriend. This is morbid, but I thought it was normal to argue every day. I thought all couples have their bickering, and it was just a regular thing. I was astounded when I went into my next relationship and actually got on with the guy and went weeks and weeks without having any issues. It always felt like the bubble was going to burst. Goes to show, don't stay in a relationship just because you've already invested a ton of time. You get one life, spend it with someone who makes you laugh every day. My first GF used to squirt. Nothing to do with me, that's just how she was. After say, 5 minutes of foreplay she'd be squirting all over the place, and then for the rest of the session, she'd be extremely wet. Fast forward to my next relationship, I was like, damn, you broke. Was fingering her profusely, doing all sorts of things, and was getting frustrated because I thought she wasn't into me or I was doing something wrong. Edit. Also, yes, okay, I get it. It's pee. It didn't smell like pee and or look like pee, but whatever, it's pee. But it was also almost 17 years ago. We still talk to this day though, so Emma, send her over and let her know that her PP is internet famous. This is a little strange, I guess, sort of an individual thing, but with my first 2 relationships, 5 years total between the 2, I never realized how cuddly I am. I used to hate being touched or kissed, and I never realized that wasn't just the way I was. I even thought I might be asexual, but deep down I knew that wasn't the case. My fiancé used to be the same way, but when we met, somehow things just clicked into place. Being cowed into an open arrangement equals normal. Him introducing me to friends while hanging out or going to parties, and then him telling me later in the evening after the ice had broken that they were actually the girls he was ducking. Capitulating to his insistence that we continued to hang out even though I was uncomfortable with knowing this new information. Equals normal. Him making unwelcome and uncomfortable comments to other women I was friends with in front of me to attempt to orchestrate threesomes that I was not okay with. Equals normal. If you love me, you'll chase after me. Equals normal. If you love me, you'll leave FaceTime up at all times so I can see what's going on in your dorm. Equals normal. If you love me, you will not show any sad or mad emotion because it ruins my mood. Equals normal. Psychological abuse. I have a physical reaction now when my current partners are nice to me when I do something he would have berated me for hours and locked me in my room for. Like, I get a panic attack because my partners are nice to me when I drop a glass, or got laid off, or forgot to unload the dishwasher. And then they don't bring it up every time they're irritated with me. My ex was still yelling at me 14 years later for crap I did when we first started dating, crap like I forgot to pick up his laundry from the floor or bought the wrong brand of bacon. At the end there, the lectures lasted hours as he recounted 14 years of offenses. My current partners? They don't throw crap in my face that I did the day before. The dissonance is crazy. I knew the other abuse wasn't normal, but my stepdad is the same way with my mom, so I had no idea, I just thought it's how men are. Actually thinking about the future was a big thing. Since we got together in high school, there always seemed to be this idea in the back of my head that this was going to end eventually, and because of that I never really looked at anything like a future together. When we graduated, it was just too comfortable to break up, and even though things were fine enough to stay, it was a drag that never ended because I just never really thought of them as the person I wanted to be with forever. It's hard to say when exactly I stopped loving her, but it was a relationship of comfort and convenience more than anything. And when she eventually cheated on me and broke us up, it was still just so easy to get back together on and off after that I could feel myself falling back into a commitment I didn't want to be a part of. Now it's wild to actually think about a future with my partner. I genuinely look forward to stuff like maybe living together or getting married and seeing the world and all that romantic stuff. Before, everything was more or less convenient, but I had no idea how great it was to actually look forward to potential life events with someone else. It wasn't super long term, only about a year, but when you're in high school that's fairly long term. My ex was a very clingy dude, sweet, but would follow me around every social gathering and get jealous of me spending time with my friends. When I started dating the guy who is now my husband, I remember looking around at a party early on of mostly my friends that he hadn't met before and I couldn't find him. I asked someone where he was and he was out by the fire with a group of people chatting and hanging out. I was astonished that we could just go our separate ways in a social setting, and that was totally fine. We didn't have to be attached at the hip the whole time. Edit. When I say he would follow me around, I literally mean he never left my side. And these were parties and things where he knew everyone as well. At one point my friend was upset, so I went into a bedroom with her and another friend to talk to her, and within 5 minutes he came into the room, and even though this was obviously private, he just stood in there. And I did tell him multiple times that we didn't constantly have to be beside each other. If you and your partner like to hang out at parties, that's fine, but it was suffocating to me. He was jealous of my friends and complained when I would make plans with them. Honestly, we were young, and he's probably a totally fine dude now. We were just not right together. That sex should last more than 45 seconds. I dated a guy for a year and never orgasmed once. He gaslit me into believing that the slight good feeling I felt, like 2 to 3 stages before coming, was what an orgasm was. I never understood why some girls were so into sex because it was so unsatisfying for me. The next guy I slept with showed me what orgasming actually feels like. Edit. For all of the people who are mad that I blamed him for not knowing what an orgasm is, I didn't share the whole story because I didn't think I would have to. Yes, gaslit was the right term to use because he literally yelled at me when I finally admitted I didn't think I had ever had an orgasm. He told me that I definitely had and made me think that I was crazy. He even told me while we were ducking when I was orgasming BC, he said guys could feel it and tell. He also told me I was a squirted despite any squirting to prove this. He literally left me so confused until I hooked up with a close guy friend, and he made me realize it wasn't me. Thanks for watching. What did you think of the story time? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any more story times.